He already survived one attempt. Why was he sent back? Brayden loved sharks. He loved finding Nemo. He loved swimming, splashing in the water, and making everyone around him smile. But there was one person who didn't seem to smile back. His mother's boyfriend, Luke. And here's the part that's impossible to ignore. Authorities already knew Brayden had suffered horrific abuse while in Luke's care. They documented it. They investigated it. They removed Brayden from the home. So how did this little boy end up back with the same man? February 13th, 2017, just before 6 that morning, Brayden's mother left for work, leaving Brayden and his younger half-brother alone with Luke. As she prepared to leave, Brayden cried. He didn't want her to go. For any parent, that should stop you in your tracks. But she left anyway. Around 9 a.m., Luke began texting her. He said Brayden had spit up. Not vomited, just spit up. Then more messages followed. At approximately 10:30, Brayden's mother returned home. She says Brayden was asleep. Instead of checking on him, she watched a movie, took a shower, and smoked marijuana while he remained in bed. Hours passed. Around 1 p.m., she finally decided to wake him. She pulled back the blanket, and Brayden's face was blue. She called 911. Doctors rushed him to the hospital, but the injuries were devastating. A CT scan revealed a severely depressed skull fracture, massive bleeding on his brain, and catastrophic swelling. The next day, February 14th, 2017, Brayden was declared brain dead. His family had to make the heartbreaking decision to remove him from life support. But this story didn't begin that morning. This tragedy actually began more than a year earlier. November 19th, 2015, Brayden arrived at the hospital covered in injury. Not one injury, not two injuries. Doctors documented bruises across his head, his face, legs, feet, and body, burns around his neck consistent with strangulation, 2 skull fractures, and liver damage. Those weren't small accidents. Those were injuries serious enough to send a child to the hospital for 4 days. Police arrested Luke, but he was only held for 48 hours. Brayden was eventually placed with his great aunt, where he was finally safe. In March 2016, the court extended Brayden's placement with his great aunt. His mother was ordered to have no contact with Luke. Yet, she was pregnant with Luke's child. Months later, in August 2016, Brayden was returned to his mother's custody under protective supervision. The conditions were clear. No contact with Luke. Routine visits by caseworkers. Those safeguards existed because officials already knew the danger. Yet somehow, by February of 2017, Luke was once again alone with Brayden. The very situation everyone was supposed to prevent had become a reality. Then came another troubling turn. In November 10th, 2016, Detective Lindsay Donnelly updated her report on Brayden's 2015 injuries. The report stated the injuries resulted from playing. Luke claimed he had thrown Brayden into the air and caught him by the neck. He also claimed that he would playfully box. Those explanations stood in stark contrast to the extensive injuries documented by medical professionals, including skull fractures, liver damage, bruising, burns, and marks around the neck. Brayden didn't hide that he was afraid. He cried when he was left alone with Luke. His previous injuries had already triggered police-involved hospitalization and removal from the home. The warning signs weren't subtle. They were documented. This case continues to raise painful questions about how a child who had already survived severe injuries ended up back in the care of someone previously connected to those injuries. Brayden should still be here. This story is a reminder of why every report of suspected child abuse deserves careful investigation, why protective plans must be followed, and why children's voices and their fear must never be ignored. If sharing these stories like Brayden's help keeps those cases from being forgotten, please consider sharing this video. Awareness is one step toward accountability, and every child deserves to grow up safe.